You know that moment when your alarm rings, but your mind already feels exhausted? You ride to work half awake while silently calculating problems nobody else around notices anymore? If you're constantly checking prices mentally, your brain probably never truly relaxes during ordinary moments. Most people think poverty only affects money, but it slowly changes everyday emotional behavior too. When survival becomes your normal routine, long-term planning starts. It's feeling unrealistic instead of motivating. Your mind stays trapped solving today's emergencies because tomorrow already feels emotionally overwhelming first. That's why scrolling social media sometimes feels comforting. Even while secretly making you feel worse, you buy something unnecessary briefly. It's not because you're careless, but because relief feels emotionally addictive. And afterward, guilt quietly replaces excitement while unfinished goals continue collecting dust beside you. Eventually, you stop imagining bigger possibilities because disappointment feels safer than hoping for change. You probably grew up hearing stressed conversations about bills, long before understanding money emotionally yourself. When childhood constantly feels uncertain, your brain learns survival faster than confidence or long-term thinking. Why opportunities sometimes feel dangerous instead of exciting? Even when they could help you, you open educational courses motivated briefly, then suddenly feel overwhelmed before even starting anything meaningful. People around you may call it negativity, but fear usually hides underneath constant financial pressure. Even simple shopping decisions become emotionally exhausting when every purchase feels personally risky afterward. You consume motivational content hoping inspiration changes everything, but exhaustion quietly blocks real consistency instead. Sometimes you avoid social plans completely because calculating costs ruins enjoyment before events even begin. Then nighttime arrives, and your thoughts replay worst-case scenarios while everybody else seems peacefully sleeping. After enough disappointments, your brain starts protecting you by lowering expectations before life even happens. You start noticing how entire environments normalize stress until nobody questions surviving paycheck to paycheck anymore. Even hearing a knock at the door can trigger anxiety when money problems constantly follow you. Watching successful people online sometimes feels inspiring briefly, then quietly turns into painful self-comparison afterward. Maybe you were never taught how opportunities actually work, only how avoiding mistakes keeps survival stable. That's why financial spaces often feel emotionally unfamiliar, almost like entering somebody else's private world completely. Fear spreads through families quietly because anxious habits usually pass down without anybody realizing it consciously. Eventually, life begins feeling repetitive, like you're moving constantly while emotionally staying exactly the same inside. Every paycheck brings temporary relief first, then disappears before your nervous system finally calms down properly. After enough repetition, success can start looking distant emotionally, even when physically standing right beside you. But sometimes small changes begin quietly. Long before your life visibly looks different from outside, you finally realize organization feels strangely calming when chaos has controlled your thoughts for years already. Writing expenses down seems small, but your brain slowly stops treating money like unpredictable danger afterward. That's when impulsive spending starts feeling less emotional, because you're noticing your patterns more clearly now. Instead of endless distractions, you begin protecting tiny moments that slowly build confidence inside your routine. Meeting unfamiliar people still feels uncomfortable, yet isolation no longer feels emotionally safer than connection anymore. Sometimes one awkward conversation changes your mindset, because opportunities usually begin through uncomfortable, unfamiliar situations first. You notice discipline feels different now because you're building stability. Instead of chasing temporary motivation constantly, saying no to certain experiences becomes painful emotionally, especially when everyone else seems effortlessly enjoying life. Still, tiny progress feels surprisingly meaningful once you've spent years believing change was impossible for you. Eventually, your future stops looking completely blocked, even though uncertainty still quietly follows beside you. You begin understanding that wealth often starts with different habits. Not dramatic overnight transformations people imagine. Sometimes growth means protecting your focus while chaos continues happening. Loudly around your everyday environment, constantly. Instead of feeling jealous automatically, you slowly start observing successful lifestyles with curiosity and emotional distance. Stressful situations still affect you deeply. But panic stops controlling every decision the same way anymore. While others sleep exhausted, you quietly create possibilities nobody around you fully notices yet outside. Criticism still hurts, emotionally because survival mode trained. You too fear mistakes more than learning naturally, yet confidence slowly changes when you stop assuming everybody else belongs somewhere more than you do. You also realize distractions were never random because emotional spending temporarily numbed deeper feelings of helplessness inside. Then certain childhood memories suddenly make sense, especially the fears you unknowingly carried into adulthood. Daily, so maybe staying poor isn't always laziness. Or do you think it's something deeper instead?